the last part of today's episode, which is motivation. As you guys know, this is the bread and butter of the podcast because I think motivation consistently will take you places that motivation alone cannot. And it's so easy to get so buckled down by negativity on a day-to-day basis with social media, with the average day-to-day life of the average person in today's society. It's very interesting that we live in the wealthiest, most opportunistic society that there's ever been, and yet we're some of the most depressed people. And so I think it's up to us to start addressing that and changing that so we can pass down positive habits and positive behaviors. It's no secret that wealthy people usually end up with wealthy children and wealthy grandchildren and so forth and so on, because it comes down to the culture of the family and who surrounds the family. Your child will become more like the people they spend the most time with and not necessarily you. And children are like sponges. They will pick up so much from their environment that you didn't even think they understood. They may not necessarily understand it, but they're picking up on it, and later on in life, when they've had more life experience out in the world, they'll finally understand what they were picking up on when they were children. And so for us, I think it's really important that we work on ourselves to be the best possible versions of ourselves, not just show up better, be better, represent better, and pass down better, but also so that we can be the adult we needed as a child. Okay, no parent is perfect. But if we keep passing the buck and then blame society without acknowledging that as adults we are now the society, that's a problem. And nothing will change until we decide enough is enough and it's time to change. And the cycle stops with us. And we break the general curses that we were brought up into to no fault of our own. The buck should stop with you. You should want the best for your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. How do you do that? By becoming the best possible version of yourself, both with happiness and success in health-wise, and teaching those things onto your children. Don't buy the stuff that you never had as a kid. Teach your children all the things that nobody ever taught you as a kid. Those are the things that will stick with your children far longer than the latest new toy, the latest new iPhone, the latest new iPad, the latest new hoverboard, okay? Those things will come and go. They'll probably stop playing with them within 6 months to a year if you're lucky. But life lessons can literally last a lifetime. It is in the name, life lessons. And that's why today I want to touch on what I said earlier on today's episode with trends that I hate, okay? Be about it. Be about it. This is your life. If you aren't about your life, then who is? Who is? Be honest. Who is? The life you're living right now is the result of choices you made just a few short years ago. And the choices you're making right now will shape what your future looks like in just 3 to 5 years from now. So what are you doing about it? Do you like the life you have right now? Is the life you have right now sustainable? Is the life that you have right now going to give you the best possible future for you, for your future family, and for future generations? There is history and in your DNA. There's history running through your veins every time your blood is pumped by your heart. You owe it to that history, to that DNA, to be the best possible version of you, both emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and out in the actual society that we live in, be it success-wise and happiness, okay? Like, so many things had to happen for you to even be in a position to even exist. A lot of people don't have that sort of mindset. They don't have that sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say gratifying experience, but they're so entitled without putting into perspective all the things that had to happen so that they would even exist. Your DNA originated somewhere so far disconnected entirely from you. Now you have the opportunity to make that mean something, to do something with that previous generations never even had an opportunity to even think about, let alone achieve. What are you doing with that? Okay? There are less than 287 full days left of 2023. What are you doing with that time? Time is not guaranteed, but you have right now. So what are you doing right now to make all of your tomorrows better than all of your yesterdays? You have survived 100% of your worst days. You are so much more resilient than you give yourself credit for. But what is that resilience going to do for you if you're not planting the seeds to grow? What are you going to do? What if your job gets taken over by AI tomorrow? What are you going to do? If you get laid off tomorrow, do you have 6 months of expenses set aside so that you have the opportunity to find a new job or to start your own business or whatever it is you want to do? Can you afford to pay for the roof over your head without a job? Are you spending all your money frivolously to try to impress people that don't even like you, that don't even care? What are you doing today that is going to positively affect your tomorrows? Don't forget what we've talked about on this podcast and on Motivation Mondays. Don't forget. First, you make your habits, and then your habits make you. So with less than 287 days left of the year, what are you going to do with that time? What are you going to do with that to affect all of your tomorrows? What habits are you going to create now that you get to positively pass down to the next generations of your family? So that maybe they can become wealthy. They can become the most happiest branch of the family's DNA. What are you doing? Okay, are you going on these free training programs that we've talked about on YouTube? Veritasm, free code camp that teaches you JavaScript, Python, and HTML. Are you taking the crash course for practical engineering? Did you go onto Google Jobs like we talked about? If you go to Google Jobs, they have opportunities where you can even click work from home. Okay. I went on this 2-day prior to filming this podcast, and I stopped counting after 60. I stopped counting after 60, meaning I saw 60 and there was way more than 60 jobs for work from home for Google being advertised by Google. Are you applying for those? If you want a new job, how are you applying for these jobs? Have you looked up videos from employers on social media who tell you all the best ways to answer questions so you know how to position yourself for the best possible avenue to happiness and success, however that looks for you? Have you looked up those videos? How many jobs are you applying for? If you're not applying for a minimum of 50 a day, then you don't truly want it. Okay? At my busiest time in wrestling, I applied to 75 promotions every single week to get bookings. How bad do you want the life that you want? How bad do you want it? Are you working for it, or do you just think that you deserve it just because? Start planting seeds now to have the life you want later. Don't worry about all of these influencers and all of these people flashing all of these crazy, awesome looking lives, because a lot of it is fake. A lot of them are getting arrested, and a lot of them, it's not real. It's artificially created because they need external validation from others because they themselves are not happy inside. So change that script, flip that script around for yourself, become happy with yourself, and start working for the life that you want. Go apply for those jobs. Okay, there's work from home, there's location-based. Even if you aren't applicable for it, still apply for as many as you possibly can, because you don't know if one of those, people chosen could be you. And that could be the start of an amazing new life. You can be learning new life skills and career skills for free right now on YouTube. Practical engineering, Google, HTML, JavaScript, all kinds of skills that you didn't need to spend $100,000 going to college for. Remember, first you create your habits, then your habits make you. Be about it. Be about it and be consistent. Consistency is the real key to success. Learn to adapt, learn to pivot, learn to position yourself for growth and success and happiness, whatever that looks like for you. Because you and future generations with part of your DNA in their veins deserve it. Break the generational curses. It stops with you. Be about it. Be about it. What are you doing today to plant those seeds so that your tomorrow is so beautiful? The time is now. Less than 287 days left of the year. Get going. And I cannot wait to see all the amazing things that you're going to accomplish. But remember, I can't want that more than you want it for you. Start showing up for you. Start betting on you. Start cheering for you. All you need is love, guts, and gumption. Self-love to realize that your dreams and your future matter. The guts to go after those dreams and go after that future, believing in yourself when no one else will. The gumption to see all of that through, cheering for yourself in the silence, letting your success be your noise and your moral compass to be your guide. Be about it. Be about it. All right, everyone, this has been the latest episode of the Talks with Taeler Hendrix podcast.